Okay, so I actually was just looking at my UChicago transcript because I'm a masochist, and I realized that UChicago is very hard. I know this isn't new information if you've seen any of my other videos. But seriously though, it got me thinking, there are so many people I met on campus who genuinely did not like that atmosphere. They couldn't handle it. And when I say handle it, I don't mean they're not intellectually capable of handling it. I meant they should not have to put themselves through trauma to graduate from a top institution. And there is trauma on campus, as it is on any other campus. I'm sure every campus has issues, but UChicago's seem to be specific. So I wanted to just have a quick real talk about whether UChicago is a hard school in all of the different senses and whether it's something that you think you'll fit into. And if you already got into UChicago, and you already accepted it, prayers be with you. Just joking. I love campus so much, so let's get straight into it. So, you will definitely be surrounded by absolutely the brightest minds. I'd say that's the best thing about UChicago, but this comes at a price. Also, we are outside because nature is my passion. It's nature, the good stuff. It's not the right place if you like being a big fish in a little pond. You are constantly going to be surrounded by people who you might feel threatened by or competitive with if you are a competitive person. And I'm not competitive at all. I like soaking up other people's knowledge, and UChicago is the best place to do that. So if you have that feeling of wanting to be the best person in the room, wanting to feel that superiority, not in a bad way, because it's a thing, people have different preferences on how they learn better. And you are essentially in the midst of the future of the globe. These are the best of the best people at any of these institutions. So if you're someone who would rather be a big fish in a little pond, UChicago is not the place for you, because yes, we only have 1,600 to 2,000 people in each year. Every single one of those 2,000 people are just so extremely intelligent in their own way. There's always going to be people you're going to learn so much from, and you cannot compare yourself to them. So before you get to campus, get that out of the equation. No comparisons, because it's about all of you collectively becoming better, becoming more cultured, more globalized, and just better people overall. So think of it that way, and UChicago will be the best place for you. The next thing we have to talk about, okay, I've heard so many people say this about UChicago, just random people I just met. They were like, oh, I met someone from UChicago, and on the way from bar X to bar Y in New York City, when we were all going out, they were talking about politics. Yes, not politics specifically, but when it comes to everything at UChicago, a discussion is not just a discussion, and small talk is never small. It is essentially arguments galore, and we probably are the definition of Socratic discourse. Even if someone's like, hey, what's up? You start an argument, and not in a bad way. It's in a way where you are always constantly learning something. There's always something you're gonna learn in every conversation you have. It's something that's so unique to campus, because that's honestly one of the biggest things I missed. I stopped learning from the people around me once I graduated, and I always loved UChicago, and I always knew when I was on campus that I was gonna miss it, but I didn't realize how much, because I moved to Florida, guys. It was Florida. I'm not even gonna say anything after that. It was Florida. It was bad. I didn't like it, and I really think I missed the peer-to-peer interaction, the discourse, the discussions. It was mind-blowing how much I learned from professors, from peers, from random people I met in random classes that I probably never talked to again, or people I met at bar night, where even bar night at UChicago is filled with Socratic discourse. It's just really fun. So if you're someone who doesn't like talking about things or defending your opinions, maybe this is not the right place, but if you already said yes, become that person. Defend your opinions and be willing to be open to hear others, because honestly, most of the things I thought when I went to UChicago were not right, and I'm probably still not right, but I am learning every day, and that's what the school is great for. Now moving on to academics. Yes, it is hard. Okay, I've got to say, it is very rigorous compared to other institutions. And this has been proven multiple times in every interaction I've had with people outside of UChicago. When I was recruiting for jobs, the first thing they would be like was, oh, you went to UChicago? Don't they have grade deflation? Yes, every employer knows this. So you don't have to be worried about your GPA, because they literally bump up your GPA by 2 to 3 points, 0.2 to 0.3, just to compare you with other applicants. Like, they know that's how hard UChicago is. And this happens in the consulting workforce. Like, this actually happens. So yes, it is rigorous. Yes, we don't have grade inflation. And literally, when I was asking an MBA student who goes to Wharton, I was like, do you think that, you know, my qualifications are good? And she was like, UChicago undergrad, you're good. So don't worry about it. Like, grade wise, you'll be fine. Like, people know it's hard. And honestly, if you got into UChicago, I know you're mostly gonna get A's anyways, because you're gonna work 24/7. Just kidding. But they really dive into theory. So this is something that I feel like UChicago prides itself in. They're an extremely theoretical like institution, and that kind of leads to their teaching style being more leaning towards research and theory, which is essentially like almost expecting you to go to grad school. And you know, half the people don't go to grad school, but that is the way everything is set up. So that whole research heavy and theoretical and, you know, Socratic discourse aspect kind of hits in every part of the discipline, like in STEM related classes, in humanities, in math, really everything. So if you're not okay with theoretical things and you like being a practical person, like, we don't have a school of engineering. That's how theoretical we are. We don't even have engineering. We have molecular engineering, which is our one engineering degree, which is essentially physics with a bit more emphasis on the electric side of it. But I will say it really is totally possible to get straight A's. I think my last 2 years in college, I averaged like a 3.8. Like, I had maybe like 2 B pluses and 1 regular B. And I think it was in music because I had to take it for a core course and I didn't like it. But you'll be fine. The biggest issue, I would say, with people at UChicago and it being too hard is that people most of the time don't like what they're doing and then they keep doing it anyways. And this is a massive issue. Like, people don't tangent. When you're taking courses, you know you absolutely hate the material, but you know, growing up, you told everyone you're going to be a physics PhD or you're going to go to med school or whatever. And you go to college, you realize you absolutely don't like it. And you keep taking the courses anyways. Of course it's gonna be hard. If you're doing something you don't like, it's gonna be hard. And there's a lot of societal expectation that's put on you when you go to a place like UChicago because people expect a lot from you. But you have to like what you're doing. I promise you, if you're gonna switch, you wanna switch early on in your career before you even have a career, essentially. Before you're like, you know, at age 30, completely burnt out. So I know I talked about courses, I talked about the things that you would like and not like about campus, but really I met the smartest people, the nicest people, and people I have learned so much from. Like, I took one CS class my junior year and I'm a data scientist now, and one of my best friends, I would go to his apartment at 7 a.m. in the morning, ask him coding questions because he was a CS major, and that's literally my career now. And when I think about UChicago, yes, I remember all of the difficult times. I have had many difficult times and I talk about it in other videos. I remember the tragedies, the sleepless nights, the crying, and the not feeling good enough, and the crazy imposter syndrome. But that is far outweighed by the number of positive experiences I had on campus. The friendships I made, the student body that I'm so proud to have been a part of, and the amount I learned about the world, about global issues, about things that need to change in society. I want to be a part of that change, and that really came about at UChicago. Growing up, I always knew I wanted to help people, and I knew that was really important to me, but when I went to UChicago, I realized this was possible, and I could actually craft a path that I'm proud of, that I'm happy to be a part of. And it's because of these amazing people I met around me. So I loved not being the smartest person in the room. I loved having arguments about literally everything, which I still do it to this day. And honestly, I'm pretty happy I went through all of the rigor at UChicago because that makes literally everything else in the world easier. Like, if I get my MBA, it's gonna be easy because it's not physics at UChicago. So with that said, that's pretty much it for what I think about UChicago, whether it's hard, whether you're gonna fit in, and I will see you guys at the next video. Don't forget to comment a hi down below. See ya!